In this tutorial, we'll be looking at the cut and the quick selection functions within Photoshop. For today, what we're going to do is we're going to cut out the koala from this background and insert it into this image here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to cut the koala from that background. So what we do is we can drag the koala onto the Photoshop. And then what we can do is we might want to zoom in a bit so we can see the koala in better detail. So you can zoom the bottom here and change it to 300%. There are several different ways you can cut things using the quick selection tool here. If you left click and hold, you've got the object selection tool, which has a lasso, which is really good when you're just cutting things out and you don't care about the pixels in the background. You've also got the magic wand tool, which is also good too if you've got similar pixels in the background. Really good if you're taking something from a green screen or a flat color background. Today what we're going to be using is the quick selection tool. So the quick selection tool will default to this round sort of cursor. At the top here, we can change the width of the cursor by changing the size down, and you can see it reduces. Because we've got quite a small image, we might take it down to 5 pixels. And then all we do is we try to paint as many pixels that are correct on the koala. You will make mistakes, which is okay. We can fix those up later, and I'll show you how in a minute. So I'm just going to paint as much of the koala as I can. You can see his paws are pretty small there, so I might just reduce that down to 1 pixel and then get as much of his claw and paw as possible. So up there you got the plus. Beside it you got the reduce. So then what we can do is we can then say, well, we've made a mistake here. Let's reduce some of it. So what we can do here is we're going to drag it over here and then down here near the tree. Okay, and I think I'll also go around the ears too. Now, you can play around this and as much detail as you want by zooming in and making the brush as wide or narrow as possible. In this example here, I think it's good enough. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut out this and then create a transparent background. Several ways you can do that. First way is you could use edit copy and just put it into a new file and do it that way. The easiest way to do it is to right click on the canvas and then select the layer via cut. And you'll see here that if I turn off the cut background, that the background will go. So I'm going to just select that layer and press delete. And you can see now, it's not perfect, but you can see that the koala now has a transparent background. To save this, what we do is we go File, and we go Save As, and then we're going to select PNG because this is a really good image format for having transparent backgrounds. And then I'm just going to call this koala final and select Save. I would leave it as a large file size so you don't get any issues with pixelization. So press OK. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to close this. No, we don't need to save changes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drag our bus into the Photoshop. Zoom in again because we'll make it 200%. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drag our koala so it looks like he's driving the bus. Okay, and then you just reposition him like so. And then, so that's how you use the cut and the quick selection tool in Photoshop. If you have any more questions, please look at my other YouTube videos. Thank you for watching.